let's really get into it. Let's get into the moves that happen, the numbers, the impacts across the league. Let's take a look at it. Let's get feedback on the important ones, and let's just kind of highlight what the status is as moving day Monday, March 11th. All right. So biggest thing to me from QB market is one, as he always does, Captain Kirk got his bag.
Yeah, he got his
Captain Kirk got his bag. 4 years,
agent.
180 million.
His
100 million
Guaranteed.
His agent.
Unbelievable.
I would be running to his front door to get him to be my agent if I was a player in the NFL.
Well, I think a lot of it, I think a lot of it has to do with Kirk's production.
Kirk's play
on the
has
field.
been outstanding though. Like
His
he has,
Yeah.
don't let we gotta not get into the trap of letting the national media narrative of Kirk Cousins is middle of the pack and he can't be that guy.
He's a
because
top 10
when you
QB
look
in
at
the
the numbers,
league.
this dude, like the numbers he puts up season after season, it's insane. And we spoke about this before you go maneuvers. We spoke about this a couple weeks ago, right? Can he be that guy? Well, right now there's only one guy, and that guy's name is Patrick Mahomes, right? So essentially, you're gonna put these other QBs in different tiers to see if they can be that guy that can take you there. But at the same time, you got to have somebody, right? Maneuvers, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Kirk does what he has to on the field, and he's a productive quarterback. But I think what always gets him that bag is he's a quality guy. He's going to be a leader in your locker room. He's going to be a leader on the field. It's never any drama, but he's a team guy too. His teammates love him. The front office loves him. His teammates love him. He's in there doing it with the fellas, but
rocking the chains.
Yeah,
he got himself. He got himself a grill and all that.
Yeah,
and the Giants just let a guy like that go. So
well, I think
he's not a quarterback.
Before we get into more of the Giant stuff, I think Kirk, of course, he got a really good bag, but I think Atlanta is they're all in. They're doing everything. They're doing everything they can. They realize that
team's going to be a problem.
They realize that another quarterback that got a bag today, Baker Mayfield down in Tampa Bay. They realize like the NFC South, it's up for grabs.
It's wide open.
So how do you separate? We have two running backs that amassed more than 1,000 yards of scrimmage, and we've got we got the pieces. We got the pieces with the tight end. We got some decent receivers.
You got Drake. You got Drake London. You got a defense. You got Jesse Bates.
Got a quarterback.
Jesse Bates is one of the best safeties in the NFL. He's your building block for your defense. So when you add somebody like a Kirk Cousins to the mix, it already puts you in first place in the NFC South.
So they're gonna host a play. You're thinking now we're gonna host a playoff game. Things are gonna change. So for the next, I would say, 3 of the next 4 years, I think Atlanta will be trending upward. We gotta remember too, there's new coaching staff. Lots of things are gonna change. So I don't expect them. It's quite possible that they can be great this year, but I would look out for them next year. I think the NFC South with Tampa Bay bringing back Baker on a 3-year, $100 million deal, which is got to get that man his flowers. He did what he had to do, bet on himself, showed out. They're bringing him back. They're bringing back Mike Evans. I think Tampa Bay, with the continuity that they have in place, is going to be the team to beat in the NFC South this year. Next year, we'll see. But yeah, I already alluded to it. Baker got his bag. How we feel about that? 3 years, $100 million.
As a former quarterback, I would ask you, how does that help Tampa Bay in this quest for another title?
Again, continuity. I think.
Are we sure they're competing for a title this year? I mean,
yeah,
maybe
their window.
Maybe it's more.
I think their window.
That's the real question.
Their window to compete for a title is going to be this year, maybe next year. Mike Evans is not getting any younger. They've dealt with a lot of injuries. Exactly. They've dealt with a lot of injuries all over, the field. So I think, they're going to compete for. They're going to try to compete for a championship this year. I think that the goal is to take it a step further than they did last year. So I think it's a good signing. I think you look at what they paid him. Baker was former number 1 pick. And I think he's matured through his journey, which he's had to go on. And I still think he's dynamic enough to be impactful, and he can win your game, but he can lose your game. So
now with Baker, I need to see it again. That's the thing for me.
Tampa is probably one of the best undercover, best cities in America. Tampa's pretty nice.
It's beautiful.
That's the one.
But
what does that got to do with?
We're looking at a.
Hey, I'll stay.
I was gonna say it.
He did technically preface with sidebar, and I love that idea.
That's why I let it slide.
Pause. Baker Mayfield. I feel like Baker Mayfield. He has to show me again. How many times have we seen Baker Mayfield put 2 back-to-back years together of successful campaigns with any football
I think Baker
team
played great.
For?
The last 2 years, Baker had really good years.
He played well.
The year he jumped around, he played
when
well.
he was on the Rams, he was whooping on the Rams.
But here's the big Baker thing, and this is what's gonna always follow. You were the first overall pick. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be. You know what? He's serviceable. When you're the first.
No, Baker's not serviceable.
No. What I'm saying, that's the class where he's in, because technically, really, he's not. What is?
Are you saying he's serviceable only because he's not with the team that drafted him?
No. I'm just saying he's serviceable.
Pro Bowl.
He's not. I said, as a first overall pick, there are certain things that you have to live up the billing.
You gotta really look at the whole picture. First of all, Baker went to the Pro Bowl last year. This iteration of the Pro Bowl.
Come on, there's a Pro Bowl.
It does matter. It does matter.
For contract wise.
Not just for contract wise. To be on the list, that means first of all, only 3 quarterbacks go to the Pro Bowl, right?
And, so to be on the top list, 3 turned it down probably.
And then but he was high enough up on the list. Let's not even. We're not even getting to the Pro Bowl discussion. He went to the Pro Bowl actually. Jacoby Brissett.
Back to the Patriots. My God.
1 year.
So what's the direction there? So what are
they?
So are they gonna draft? Are they gonna draft a QB and have them do is there gonna be QB competition in OTAs and in training camp?
No. It's looking like, I think the Patriots are gonna draft Jaden Daniels.
Here's my thing, right? They're gonna draft the quarterback, but here's
gonna be Jaden Daniels. I feel it's gonna be
Jacoby Brissett. All right, here's Ryan Tannehill still available, right? I would have went there before I went Jacoby Brissett. I think he comparable, is more in line with what we know the Patriots to do.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill is a broken NFL quarterback from the standpoint his confidence is shattered. Jacoby Brissett is a steady Eddie, take care of the football, laser focus, take care of the football, win you a football game with minimal mistakes kind of quarterback.
Yeah,
he plays the Patriot way. So I think that that's a really good move for them, especially on DB Dude's point. You go and you get somebody like a Jaden Daniels who could be a 1 to 2 year project, and you put somebody like a Jacoby Brissett in to be able to stopgap, for mentorship to learn.
Yeah,
and they're picking
third. But it kind of comes back to say to the dominoes. right? The quarterback dominoes, we kind of know where they're falling, right?
Mhm.
So with Russ, Baker, Kurt, you know, we have to see like the direction a lot of these teams are going, because
a lot of things are still gonna happen.
a lot of things.
I know where you're going.
Yeah,
I
a
know
lot of
where
things
you're
can
going.
happen. But now it's like, okay, these things are like, these teams are like looking at it saying, how much longer do we have? Like, what is, like, I hate the term stopgap, but it's the truth. It is a stopgap. You know, like the Patriots, if they could pick up, I think in this draft, I've been high on Caleb Williams. You know, I liked Drake May a few years ago. Drake May reminds me a lot of Justin Herbert. And I love Justin Herbert out of Oregon. I wish the Giants would, but he stayed that 1 year, and we missed him. But the stopgap thing is real, and I think these teams are like, you have to give these guys some time. You know, as much as these guys have been playing quarterback 7-on-7, all of these, like, you know, Eli and Peyton Manning camps and all these different things that they do have, it's a different animal when you get to NFL. You know, you think about it, man. The level and the playbook is just this thick, and you're going from some of these quarterbacks in these systems. This is why they said Drake May, even though Mac Brown is a phenomenal coach and he's a great offensive mind at UNC, Drake May's gonna have to sit. I think Caleb will have to sit.
And this just in, Joe Mixon has been released by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah,
What?
Joe Mixon. Well, that's because they signed Zach Moss to
Zach
a
Moss.
2-year deal.
The running back disrespect continues.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
cheaper deal. He was
That's
coming in on his
insane.
third deal. He was coming in on his third year of his deal. It was on the back end of the contract. They cut him to save salary cap space. So let me ask you guys this: where does value versus respect meet when it comes to the running back position in this free agency period in the NFL?
It don't meet, because the franchises are telling you what they're doing. Draft them young, run them into the ground, and that's it. And when it's over, we're not going to pay him on that second deal. We're just going to go draft another running back.
I feel bad for Pacheco, bro.
And
Like
and
a
you know
bad
what?
man, nothing.
You know what? It is an overemphasis on the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Because to your point, a lot of receivers are coming out NFL ready because of all those 7-on-7s and things that they're doing. Right. So guess what? Receiver money is going to start to change too here in a bit. I think that's the next one. So I think teams are going to be heavily invested in quarterbacks moving forward, and you're going to see, you know, defensive linemen getting crazy money as well. You know, some very special secondary players, but I think, you know, the offensive skill positions outside of the quarterback, you're going to start seeing reduced numbers. The running backs right now, if you look at the deals that have gone through today, we're talking on average $7 to $8 million a year.
11 max. You know what I'm saying? And
Saquon's the outlier.
He was the outlier. He was the one.
And 50, about 15
14 and a half.
Yeah. Y'all favorite
14
football
and a half,
team, so
close to
they ain't
15.
paying no running back more than 10. So
Yeah.
So, you know, Saquon 3 years, $37.5 million. Josh Jacob 4 years, $48 million. So
Packers.
he's like at the top 12 with the Packers.
And you know what's crazy maneuvers?
What's that?
You know what's crazy maneuvers? What is my mantra? Every time we get on the horn and we talk football, anytime I have a conversation with you guys, what's my emphasis?
I mean, like,
You can say you know exactly what it is.
The trenches.
The run game.
The run
game equals wins in the NFL, no matter how you flip it. Ball control, you impose your will on another team. You know what I mean? And it opens up the passing game.
What's crazy though? It's crazy.
The crazy part is, you know, the crazy part is you devalue the position.
I was gonna say what the crazy part is.
Well, you could chime in.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But the crazy part for me is you devalue the position, but you're always looking for the next great running back, right?
Well, to me,
they think there's a Bijan and a Jahmyr Gibbs every draft. That's
no,
what they're
the crazy part for me is that it's a double-sided coin because they, every team in the league will pay Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
They would pay Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
But it's like other running backs. It's like, well, you're not doing what Christian McCaffrey's doing.
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean,
I'm not in the same situation as Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Yeah. So, but
he splits out wide. He's in the backfild. He's all playing flanker right next to the tight end.
That's what the agents should look and say. That's your fault.
Yeah.
That's your fault as an organization that you're not utilizing my guy so that he can be
the
like
same
Christian
way.
McCaffrey.
Yeah, the same way. You can make that argument for Saquon Barkley in terms of his value and what he's arguing in those rooms with GMs. It's a fact.
It's not you. It's not even you could make that argument. That is the argument with Saquon.
Yeah, it's
like
there.
listen. He can run between the guards. The guards. He can run
outside the tackles.
Gap. He can run outside the tackles. He can run.
Split him out wide.
He can run traps. He can.
He can run counters.
He can run out to the flat.
He can run counters. He can beat guys on deep crossers. He can do all of it, but you got to have other things around him. You got to have a quarterback that can deliver the ball.
Don't get me started.
And another thing really quick, it speaks to durability. Outside of the season before Christian McCaffrey was traded, he was off injured. You know what I mean? And recently, he's been on a hot streak where he hasn't missed too many football games.
Well,
now.
It's because of his type of utilization. So Saquon's utilization is a lot of in between the guards. It's a lot of counters and stuff like that.
Saquon's utilization is running in front of a shit offensive line.
Exactly.
Trying to make trying to make 50 cents out of a dollar. You know what I'm saying?
And they don't do anything to try to put him in space where he is the most dangerous. Where he's gonna make a guy miss, or he's gonna run somebody over. They don't do that very well for him. But the Eagles
Real quick, but that's because the Eagles have other focuses on the football team other than Saquon. Saquon was it. If you didn't have it was Saquon. It was Saquon. Let's cover this up real quick.
Tony Pollard.
And let's talk about
Tony Pollard went to Tennessee, 3 years, $24 million, $8 million a year. Austin Eckler, 2 years, $11.43 million to go to the Washington Redskins. Commanders.
Yeah,
that is disrespectful.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Eagles lost DeAndre Swift and signed Saquon, but Swift went to Chicago Bears, 3 years, $24 million. The theme here, if you're good at multiplication in division, these guys are all signing for like $8 million a year.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So the Giants lost Saquon, and we went and got Devin Singletary, former Buffalo guy. $8 million? So 3 years, $6.5 million a year. That's probably what they offered Saquon, and Saquon was like, "Go kick rocks."
No, not kick rocks. Go eat glass. Go eat glass.
So
but then it's just this running back thing has been going on for so long, and it's like it's like almost the biggest hypocrisy you could ever see with these teams in the running back position. Like we look at them and you say, hey, you hear Romo, yeah, this guy gonna come right there, run up the backside, get 3 yards. And it's like, win the game, you want to
run up where?
Run up the backside of the guard.
Can we get a pause? Can we get a pause on that?
Fire.
Run up the backside. You know what I'm saying? Run
on him.
But yeah, but when it's like, and I made a joke and I alluded to this. Isaiah Pacheco is another person that he runs like he runs like a little kid on the playground, bro. Like that's how he runs, really and truly.
I tried on some new shoes and
he's like, oh my god, and it's like this guy has 2 Super Bowl rings, his contract about to come up, knowing that the Chiefs are not that. This Chris Jones thing for them was like, wow, okay, we have to give him this money, or Spags are gonna flip out.
So the crazy thing is, Kansas City don't like to spend money.
So to pretty much wrap a bow on it, NFL management and ownership has made a conscious decision to devalue that position so that they can allocate money where it needs, where they feel it needs to go.
The number one example of that is all these running backs got signed today. Derrick Henry is still available.
Unbelievable.
Derrick Henry.
They scared of him.
Is still available.
Yeah.
It's a conservative effort. It's a conservative effort.
I don't know. Maybe the Giants will sign him, but not after signing Singletary.
I think Darren's gonna go to Dallas. I think Dallas is still they wanted to get him this last year.
Or Baltimore.
He needs more Baltimore. And here's why. I like Baltimore too. And here's why he won't go to the Dallas Cowboys, because Derrick Henry traditionally throughout his career has run with a lead back. He doesn't run well out of single back unless it's just not what he does. He needs a lead back in order to be effective. And I think that the Baltimore Ravens are a better fit from that aspect. So I don't see him going to Dallas. Dallas already said that they don't have an appetite to pay a running back. They're kind of in the same boat as us to pay over $10 million for a running back, even $8 million, I think they said. So
they're the leaders of the collusion.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it, bro. They're not gonna do it.
Get out of here, Zeke. Get out of here, Tony.
But even though they said get out of here, Zeke, they still gave him his money. You know what I'm saying? So the one thing I gotta give Jerry Jones, he's gonna pay you. He's gonna take care of you.
No.
And they ran his ass into Zeke's ass into the ground.
I would say this.
I disagree with that statement.
I would say this.
Zeke for his first four. My bad, Donnell. Zeke was averaging almost 400 touches a year for the first 5 years of his career in Dallas. That's crazy, bro. That's miles. So the reason why he does not look like the same player is because they used his ass up. Right. And then they turned around and they gave him the contract, and then they want to turn around and chastise him for his usage rate, for his effectiveness after he got the money, when he was already used up.
They gave him his money because of the public pressure.
But he was already used up.
The one thing that you gotta understand about the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, their marketing they are an entertainment business. They hope to win football games. They are entertainment business.
Yeah.
Didn't Dalton Schultz go on record this week, past week, saying that it's a zoo in Dallas, saying that there's glass, there's chandeliers. Jerry Jones shows up to practice in a fucking helicopter. Like, what type of shit is that? Like, there's no focus on the main thing. That's the main thing in this football. Yeah. So they'll always be in purgatory because they're always trying to entertain.
Yeah.
Now, moving on though, we got to talk about these wide receivers, and there is a lot of free agent wide receivers still available on the market.
Really still out? Really still out there, right?
Really still out there. So only people that have got a deal, T. Higgins got franchise tag. Michael Pittman re-signed with the Colts. Mike Evans re-signed with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis leaving Buffalo. He says too cold over here, too much snow. He going down to Jacksonville.
Nice.
I believe Gabe is from Jacksonville too.
I think that's a big mistake for Jacksonville.
He's UC. I think he's either UC. I think he's UCF.
UCF.
UCF, Central Florida. Yeah, that's over there, close to Orlando or outside Orlando.
So he's down there. Gabe's from down there.
Beautiful campus too. Beautiful.
This guy. Need a red hat. Anyway, Kendrick Bourne re-signed with the Patriots. Devin Duvernay also down to Jacksonville as well. You got guys like Calvin Ridley, Hollywood Brown, OBJ, KJ Osborne, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Quez Watkins, Chase Claypool, Paris Campbell. All these guys are now still available. Tyler Boyd.
I I beg to differ, though. Not to cut you off, Manews. I beg to differ. I think that Calvin Ridley is blackballed because that man, his route running ability and his quickness. Yes, he missed a year.
I agree with you.
He is a number one bona fide.
I agree with you.
Bona fide.
But guess what? I agree with you, but guess what? He didn't exactly show out in Jacksonville.
He should have.
He should.
A lot of drops.
Especially second half of last season.
Yeah, a lot.
I was early in the year. I forget one of my friends was drafting his fantasy team.
Early in the year, he was cooking.
Get Cal.
He was high.
Get Cal Ridley. He gonna be the guy.
Yeah.
But
he didn't show out like
if we're gonna argue that point, we can argue that the Jacksonville Jaguars fell off a cliff in the second half of the season.
I don't know what happened.
Overall.
Even Trevor Lawrence with his injuries and
you're talking
his inconsistency.
You're talking wins. If you're talking wins, you're talking
about production.
I'm talking production, like you mentioned.
Because production was
half of the season, he was lights out.
Production was still taking place in Jacksonville. And it wasn't like, you know, they weren't scoring, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think he did what he should have done, and that's why he's on the free agent market.
It sounds like all those guys are like receiver 2s, receiver 3s. I feel like a lot of these teams probably, if they figure they have their wide receiver 1, they're just gonna wait, see who's available, what that average salary is gonna look like for receivers trying to join a new team, because they're all gonna be complementary pieces. Like, which one of those guys did you mention is like some team gonna say, no, you're gonna be our lead receiver, come in here, get 1,000-yard season, like whatever.
Well, look,
I didn't really hear that name.
Let's not. I don't want to make it sound completely bad for Calvin Ridley. He did have over 1,000 yards. I just don't think he had the impact.
What we were expecting him to be.
What we expect. Listen,
people who know
football, bro. People who know football and watch football, Calvin Ridley should have been like the 1,500-yard receiver last year.